How many offers did you have?
So during internship, I had six, and during full time, if I remember, I had seven. Proficient in verification of design IP with System Verilog, senior director at Google. Now
Post.
I apply two filters here. He just forwarded my resume, and I got the call. So
Hey, what's up, everyone? I intentionally divided this podcast into two parts. This part is focused on how to get interview calls. And Akhil, who's our guest, who's a Google employee, he's a Google engineer, he reveals the secret and in detail how he got calls at Google from the recruiter and how he reached out and the templates he used to message recruiters and all of it. So this is only focused on how he got the interview call and the second part of the podcast, which is how he prepared and how he cracked that interview calls. So if you want to watch the second part, please consider subscribing and come back next week. But for now, I will let you enjoy the episode. Thank you, Akhil, for doing this. Really means a lot to me. I am so excited because we have a Googler. Let's do a quick intro. Where are you from? What do you do? And fun stuff about you.
my name is Akhil Mehta. I am from Indore, Madhya Pradesh. I did my BTech from VIT University, Vellore, and after that, I worked for 2.5 years in India at Deloitte and then at a startup as RP analyst and embedded system design engineer. Then I decided to pursue my master's in US in fall 21. I came to North Carolina State University. I did my MS in electrical and computer engineering with specialization in computer architecture and design verification. And currently, I am working at Google Pixel team as ASIC verification engineer. So the Pixel and Fitbit team sits here in San Diego. So I am currently based out of San Diego, and I
Nice.
just joined Google 2 weeks ago. So yeah.
Now let's deep dive into how did you get Google? How many offers did you have?
So during internship, I had six, and during full time, if I remember, I had 7 to 8 offers. Yes.
What? This is so awesome. Okay. Let's take a step back because you said
Okay.
something interesting. You had calls from AMD and Microsoft, and then you worked on LinkedIn and Portal, and then you started getting calls from Google and Qualcomm and all the other companies. Most important thing or the people which struggle with is getting an interview call. Was the application process through all online? I'm assuming.
Okay. So the thing is, we can not always rely on the job portals because these job portals have a tracking system which is ATS,
Mm,
which tracks your resume and the keyword. So
mm,
even if you are an excellent candidate and your resume doesn't have that one keyword which they are looking for, you
mm.
won't be able to bypass that.
Right.
So keep applying on portal. I'm not saying no, don't apply on portal, but other than that, use LinkedIn. So basically, if you go and search on LinkedIn, always start with the keyword like what I used to do, hiring,
Mm,
verification, and then your company name. So suppose hiring, verification, NVIDIA, AMD, Intel. So this will give you a list of the people who are actually hiring. So there,
mm,
the managers, senior managers, leads, principals, directors will come into the picture. So always
mm,
use your email in them. InMail gives you an extra feature of attaching your resume as well. So always keep your resume up to date. As soon as you get the project specs, don't wait for a project to get over. Just understand the spec and put it on resume and keep your updated resume. I think within every 2 to 3 weeks. At least that's what I did.
mm, mm.
So using LinkedIn and using this feature, I was able to get most of the calls from LinkedIn. I did get calls from Portal as well, but yeah, it was a mix of both
Both.
LinkedIn and
Okay,
job
okay.
portals. Yes.
I want to deep dive into LinkedIn as well, but let's talk about online application. When you
Hmm.
do, the
Okay.
only way for you to get call is to pass through that ATS
Yes.
application tracker system,
Yes. Yes.
and that means you have to have a good resume.
Correct.
What and looks like you obviously were getting calls, so looks
Hmm.
like you had something different in your resume that it was passing and you were getting calls. So what are some of your resume tips which you applied in your resume that you were getting calls?
My whole resume was based upon the role which I'm applying for. So always when you apply to a role, you'll always find below that preferred qualification and what the candidate and what in the candidate they are looking for.
Let's do this because what you said makes sense to me. I want to show to our audience like what how would you identify that these are the keywords and you need to put it. So
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen. We will look up a position and then
Okay.
we'll like you tell me how would you go about designing your resume for that.
Okay. Okay.
Can you tell me like a position which you would
ASIC verification engineer.
basic verification?
Yeah, I think you can type on top like NVIDIA or AMD, like after engineer. So we can go for this senior verification engineer.
So here's the job. If you were applying for NVIDIA, you look at this and you're like,
Correct.
okay, now what's the step you would do? Like you look at it and what's your next step? Like how
Yeah,
would you
now.
design your resume? Yeah.
So now if you scroll down, so you can see these 3 points. As
Hmm.
a senior verification engineer at NVIDIA, you'll be responsible for verifying the design, architecture, and microarchitecture.
Hmm.
So the keywords here are design, architecture, and microarchitecture using advanced verification methodology. Now, if
Hmm.
I talk about this in the context of our coursework, so this advanced verification methodology usually is the UVM, which stands for Universal Verification Methodology. Since we had done our courses on microarchitecture and computer architecture, those keywords automatically go into our project. Now,
Hmm.
talking about this DV strategies and test planning, and talking about this memory subsystem units, that is also part of our curriculum at the university. So, even if this memory subsystem unit is not in your curriculum or something, it doesn't matter that much. But this DV strategies, test planning, and verification infrastructure, these are the three
Right.
important keywords which they
Yeah,
are
and
looking.
and you can use it says UVM like you said,
Correctly.
and
So
then
proficient in verification of design IP with System Verilog. So
hmm,
System Verilog is a language.
yeah.
UVM is a framework which uses System Verilog. So both of these things are very important for a verification engineer role if you are applying. There is one section which I always mention in my resume, which is the relevant coursework. In that,
Hmm.
I only write the name of the coursework which I have taken. Those words automatically in that project description, I try to include it in my project description.
Okay, so you write it in the coursework and then
Correct.
also in the projects, and then you probably have a technical skills section where you also write it again.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Maybe yeah, you can if you send me the screen,
Yeah, yeah. I
your
will
resume.
send you my resume. Yeah.
So then I'll put it there so people can actually
People
see
can
it.
see. Yeah.
I'm also fairly confident if you do these techniques, you will start getting interview calls.
Right.
So that's one way. Second way is like you mentioned that apply online through portal and all of that, and then also use LinkedIn.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let's just do the same technique, use the same position, and see how you would recommend about applying that through
Okay.
LinkedIn, which you mentioned.
Okay.
Okay,
So
verification.
verification.
Oh, sorry,
Then
verification.
uh, suppose if we talk like any company name. So suppose Qualcomm verification.
Qualcomm.
Qualcomm and hiring.
And there might be a lag, so that's why you're not seeing as I
Yes.
typed it.
It's okay. Now
Post.
I apply two filters here. First will be click on people.
Oh, people.
Yes.
Okay.
And now click on the location as United States.
Oh, that is
Okay. These are the people who are like the working in Qualcomm currently. Now, so if you can see,
Poonam. Yeah.
Poonam Parekh, yeah. So this lady was my
Oh,
hiring
yeah, yeah,
manager
yeah.
for the internship.
It
So she
also
has,
says right
yes,
hiring
yes,
DV
hiring
engineer.
division. So I worked during my summer internship in her team. So she was the one who responded to my message over LinkedIn. She
Mm,
arranged my interview within next 3 days. She took three
mm.
rounds, and that has been my strategy for internship, for full time, everything. Now, one thing
Wait,
is,
wait.
yeah,
Sorry. Continue.
yeah,
Continue. Then I'll ask
yeah,
my follow up
sure,
question.
sure. One thing is you won't always find this hiring in most of the people profile because not all the people in the industry actively puts that. But
Mm,
again, it's worth a shot because even if you find 10 people and if they have put hiring, that means they are definitely checking their LinkedIn for any such contact. So
mm,
this is one thing. After that, you can remove the keyword hiring from the search bar and
mm.
just search for verification Qualcomm
Wait, wait. So
manager. Yeah,
Uh, and before we get to that
hmm,
strategy, so I want to one is obviously looks like this Santosh Kumar is also hiring for DV engineers.
correct, correct.
Yeah, GPU design looks like Martin is hiring for various positions.
Yes,
So
yes,
you found these three people. Let's
correct.
assume these three
Okay,
people. It looks like he's I support full time hiring as well. So
yes,
uh, now you said you message them. So
yes,
let's say if I were to message this person,
hmm,
Poonam,
yes.
what's my like what how would you message it?
Okay, so this message needs to be precise and to the point. No story cook up. I am from this. I have done this. I have done that. Subject
Oh,
optional. So
yeah.
I always put my subject as looking for summer internships, looking for full time opportunities.
Well,
Looking for summer internship and just mention the year in the bracket. So for me, it was summer 22. And if I was looking for full time opportunities, so fall 24.
opportunities. Okay. And then you would
And just mention the start date which you are looking for. So basically, fall 2023. Spring 2023. I'm sorry. Hi,
And what
Poonam.
we can do is, if you have a message,
Yeah, I have a
actually,
message.
maybe let's do this. Maybe share a screenshot of that, or
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
stop
send you
this.
a screenshot. Yes, yes.
Yeah, just send me the screenshot, and we can show actually what you sent. Thank you again, Akhil, for being so transparent, wanting to help, because not a lot of people do this. So Akhil just sent me what exactly he sent Poonam, and you can literally copy paste and apply it for your role. Obviously, personalize it to yourself, which is very important. And you can see, I'm currently enrolled in MS program, blah blah blah, and looking for this. Is there any position available in your team? Can you please help me out here? And then she responded to you on January 5th.
Fifth. Yes.
Thanks for reaching out. Please share a couple of time slots for 2 hours of interview. And then you sent her the response. And this is awesome. So it does work if you are looking
Yes.
for a very targeted people, and
Correct.
looks like obviously they are reaching out, and it makes their job so easy.
So if you want, we can include one full time as well. Like, I don't mind, because Google I got via LinkedIn only. I did apply
What?
to portal.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah, we
Google,
should totally show
yeah.
Google as well.
So yes,
So
so I'll send it to you.
I also want to ask this, because what I noticed is that you said that, hey, is there any position available on that? What if you added like, hey, I saw that you are looking for this position. I'm interested in it. Can you like help me? Is that also something would you recommend, or would you
Correct,
keep it
correct.
open?
So there are few people who only put hiring in their profile, and there are
Mm,
few people who put hiring as well as for the position which they are hiring.
okay.
So before applying to that position, just drop a message or something that I know you are looking for this role. Can I apply to this position? So what happens is you don't have to go through that entire process of ATS because you
Yes.
are directly in contact with the hiring manager.
Mm,
So you save that amount of time between that ATS, getting a call from recruiter, then setting up time, because you directly set up your interview with the hiring manager.
mm,
And once if everything goes well, then at the end HR comes into the picture. So that has
right.
happened with me in my internship and full-time case, that
Yeah.
HR came after everything was sorted, after I got my decisions and everything. And
Mm.
towards the end I had to apply for that role on the portal after that. So I already got selected for that role, and then I
Right,
had to apply for that
because
role
they
on the
have to
portal.
have a like an actual entry. Yeah,
On the
yeah, yeah.
portal, correct.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. That is so awesome. I'm so glad you shared this. And I know you mentioned that this happened with your Google job as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
let's show how did you reach out to Google person, and then what was that conversation?
So this is Mike Coulter. He is the senior director at Google, and currently, last week he became the site lead for San Diego.
Mm,
So I mailed him for internship aspects as well, like on January 11th, where I posted the same message as you can see what I posted to Poonam regarding
right.
internship. But that time he said like we are not looking for interns right now, but that could change in the future. If it does, I'll post it on my LinkedIn. So I
Mm.
just said thanks. Yeah. So this is June 15th. So June 15th technically means I was doing my summer internship. And see, I changed my message now.
Oh yeah, I'm
And
doing my
yes,
internship at Qualcomm, expected graduated date, but I planning to do this, looking for full-time
full time
opportunities in
opportunities.
DV. Okay.
Okay. So, and see, this in-mail message gives you extra freedom of attaching your resume. So,
Mm,
whatever work I was doing at Qualcomm, I included that in my resume and sent that resume to him. So he
mm,
replied saying, "You can always apply to the role and tech hiring manager and recruiter will review your application." But
mm,
one thing what he did was he also posted a link to his job.
mm,
So I applied to that link by asking him, and I asked him that location says Bangalore if there is a position open for USA. So he said that there are positions open for San Diego. You can check my profile activity and everything. I
mm,
applied on that positions, and after some time, when I didn't get the response, I again dropped a message to him. Hi, Mike, I'm looking for full-time DV position. I'll be graduating because at that time I have finalized that I'll be graduating in December. So
mm,
I asked him if there are any new college graduate DV positions in your team.
mm.
So he said that I'll forward your resume to the hiring manager and the recruiter. And after that, yeah, he just forwarded my resume and I got the call. So
Nice. That is so awesome.
only thing, even senior directors, if you can see, he's been working. I've
Right.
seen it
And
inside Google.
he's pretty active. I mean, look at the
Yes,
post. Like, looks like he
yes.
also posted just
Yeah, he's still
recently.
posting. He's still
Yeah,
posting.
image.
The only message is people are active on LinkedIn. You need to be a little bit more aggressive in your approach. Reach out to as many people as you can, because if you reach out to 200 or 300, even if 10 to 12 respond, like that's what you want. You don't
Right.
want all the
And
200 respond
and that response most likely converts into an interview
into an
versus when you
interview.
apply online,
Yes.
you just barely get rejection or you don't hear anything.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
You just have to wait then whether I'll get or whether I'll not get. But at least doing it on LinkedIn is you get a definitive response. There have been few
Mm.
responses where I've been directly said by the manager that currently the role is filled or we are not looking for anything like that. I mean, that's okay. Like that again
Yeah,
depends on
at
the
least
team
you know that you
organization.
have to move on from
We
this,
know.
move on to
Correct.
next one. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes. So
Yeah.
after my
And
internship, I relied on LinkedIn for my full-time approach a lot. So I got almost all
so
interviews
for
through
your
LinkedIn.
7, 8 job offers, how many were through this process?
I don't remember exactly how many were, but almost
Would you say
5 to 6
50%?
were
Like,
from, yeah, 50% were, yes.
wow, that's huge. That's huge. People who are watching this, this should be your gold mine. Please share this because this is so helpful because so
Yeah.
many people struggle just to get interview calls. Obviously, we're going to talk about how did he prep and then how did he crack for the interviews, but this is huge in just getting interview calls, and there's proof already that people do respond. Even the director level, VP level, manager levels will respond. So
LinkedIn, whenever you're sending a connect request, never send without that 300
yes,
character message.
yes.
Never send it, because I'll tell
Uh,
you, if I'm the hiring manager and I get two connection requests, one is without a message, one is with a clean and concise message, I'll definitely open the one which has that message which says I'm looking for summer internship
yeah.
or full-time project.
100% agree, and I want to show you what my view look like because obviously I'm like not really right now hiring, but if I were hiring, and here's let me share my screen real
Yeah.
quick and show people. So today I already accepted 500 requests, and it's already 1300.
1300
Okay, and none of them oh, this is a VP, but none of them sent me a message,
message.
which like this is like I don't know why you're requesting it. Obviously you're requesting it because you're seeing me,
Correct.
but like look at this one, it stands out because
Yes.
there is some message, and I'm
Correct.
curious now, like, okay, what is this person going to ask me? And looks like she's a recruiter.
Correct.
So most likely she wants to collaborate with me, but so I'll accept it immediately because it also pops up the message right there.
Right.
So always all these people, I'm not picking on you guys. If you see yourself here, add a note because it's free of cost, so add it and it will stand you out from that request you are sending it to other people. That was such a good session. I feel like I should just stop here and then and make this as a one video.